Hello, hello, welcome back to the event that I know you've been waiting for if you've watched Games 1 and 2 of the Amazon.com in-house employee-run tournament. We have seen Longhammer, in a war of attrition in Game 1, manage to eke out a victory. JNB defending the 6th pool on Jungle Basin, moving in for the kill with Blinkstalkers in Game 2, and now we're tied up 1-1, moving on to my pretty much favorite map in the known universe, in the Blizzard map pool at least. It is Xel'Naga Caverns, with JNB as the purple Protoss pieces spawning in the bottom left, and in the top right we see Longhammer, the blue Zerg. So of course this makes my life very hard because it's the blue and purple, so for any of you who are blue-purple color blind, I sincerely apologize. Once again, very early scout probe moving out for JNB, a prudent choice given the fact his opponent 6-pooled him in the last game. I will note, though, Longhammer did a very, very nice recovery from that 6 pool. It does look like Longhammer now moving out with that drone of his own, wants to check out what his opponent is doing. Here comes the inevitable high five. No, my gosh, those two guys treated each other like pedestrians in Los Angeles, as though one another don't even exist. There goes the one drone making its way forward, as in the meantime the probe ends up sneaking in here. Ooh, was going to maybe mine a little bit of minerals, but no. Ends up thinking second thoughts at the last second. JNB happily going to be chrono boosting up his probes. Actually, no. Look at that. Has quite a lot of chrono boost saved. Oh, getting blocked. Thank you very much, says Longhammer. Oh, you just cannot get a gateway in edgewise. There, a gateway finally goes down. Little crack left here by JNB. We'll be closing this top part off. Excuse me, with a cybernetics core. And oh, in the meantime, JNB with his own little form of blocking. There is very much blockery going on in this game. We do see that there is a probe possibly somewhere right now, but there will not be a chance that I will be able to find it because you know what? Blue and purple, folks. Blue and purple colors. Arg. We do see it looks like this drone has himself 1 kill. He is a predator. Means he did manage to pick off his opponent's scout probe, and man, these opponents, these guys have hardly done anything in their own bases, just doing stuff to each other. Look, Zerg blocking the gate, and now taking the gas, and Protoss building the pylon and denying the expansion, but you know what, Longhammer, being the strong hammer that he is, going for a little bit of a gas pool opening, so that way, or I should say a pool gas opening, he'll be able to throw down a couple of Zerglings. Will he end up getting a queen, or going straight for the expansion? Will he get the queen? Oh, he goes for the expansion. Very cool. Longhammer definitely wants to get that economy up as early as possible. Whoa! Continuing to do the cancel trick on the extractor. For any of you who did not know this, whenever you cancel a building, you get almost all the money back, but you lose just a little bit. With the extractor, because it only costs 25 minerals, you just build it and cancel and build it and cancel it. So that way, you can always end up having maximum life. You know what? That whole discussion doesn't matter. Longhammer let it finish. Either way, there is a trick that exists with building and canceling extractors, and I'm not going to tell you about it. We do see JNB now scouting with his probe, but this is an unusual direction. Is he going up here to build any pylons? We don't see any in the queue yet, but again, you did see my screen drag across that ever so important backdoor path. Looks like we do see our Protoss player getting a little bit conniving with his intentions. Longhammer now making a queen, beginning to get that ever so important Zergling speed upgrade. It's important not just because it allows you to, make your Zerglings a little bit better in general combat, but any attack really gets punished by fast units. If for some reason Protoss moved out and Protoss had a smaller army than Zerg, the faster Zerglings will prevent any of those units from retreating. Or the faster speed Zerglings can kill off any scouting probes. No speed Zerglings yet, and this probe did of course take a very sneaky path, building a pylon here. But one of the most important reasons you always get Zergling speed is that whenever a probe comes out to try to build pylons like this, you can kill it off. And as a result, it slows down that 4 warp gate push or that 3 warp gate push. But look at this, Longhammer. Uh-oh, gonna have to deal with a little bit of Blinkstalkerage, but remember that gas steal by Zerg? Look at the effect it's having. Absolutely not even close to enough gas to get that blink. And in fact, once he does start blink, then he'll have to save up even more gas to begin Stalker production. Great, great denial of that play by Longhammer. But here's the potential danger for Zerg. Anytime a player does do a gas steal, he tends to cross certain strategies off in his mind. He says, no way Blink's going to be coming. He just won't have enough gas for that. So sometimes players think that a little incorrectly. The correct process is a good Blinkstalker build cannot happen. but a really weak one can. So that is the way that Zerg is going to need to think to be able to defend this. As we see Longhammer having a very, very solid opening. There's the layer coming up. There's that second gas going down as well. We see a third queen up. An extremely, extremely strong sign of a Zerg player who really knows what the hell he's doing. Getting a lot of creep tumors to spread everything around, especially on a map like Xel'Naga Caverns. And look at this Zerg. And, oh no, he's going to end up spotting it. Those poor stalkers that are getting warped in are taking tons of extra damage. One does get picked off, but J&B pops in at the last second. This is going to be a little bit of an awkward warp-in spot for the Protoss player. He's going to have to end up approaching through the shrubbery at the back door. But Zerg has been making a lot of Zerglings. As you'll note, lots of Zerglings are very good against Stalkers. So here comes in J&B, but look at how low he is on the gas. Only able to warp in a few Stalkers and then Zealots afterwards. There's the one Zealot there for the defense. J&B now beginning to warp in more probes, continuing to try to have a solid economy, and going to end up doing possibly another gateway. I'm not entirely sure. Either way, J&B now moving into the backside. Uh-oh, here come the Zerglings for this round, and there is a great blink back, putting himself right in that little crevice, so that way he can end up taking minimal damage from those Zerglings. This is very, very tense situation. Zerg needs to micro extremely well. And look at this, an infestation pit in addition to all the Zerglings. He's going to try to go for a very fast play to shut down this sort of blink micro, and there's the Zergling surround attempt. Two Zealots do get surrounded and picked off, but there are a lot more Stalkers coming in from this backside, but I don't know if they can reinforce quickly enough. Zerg can always go for a massive counterattack, even planting Spine Crawlers up on the high ground if he wants to do something extreme. Or, as we're seeing, the Zerg can go for this very cool Infestor play. Not something we see a lot between those high Master League players, a lot of those tip-top pros. But I think this is a very cool transition that really reveals a lot of possibilities. And here come the Zerglings trying to bring the noise back on Protoss. You want to try to attack my front? I'll attack your warp-in point, mofo. And there he's trying to pick off as much as he can, but again, some very solid Blink Stalker micro by J&B. The Zerglings managed to do some damage, but uh-oh, Zealot's getting warped in and J&B distributing the damage. Keep in mind those shields do end up recharging very quickly. Once the shields start recharging, look at how quickly those end up returning. He'll be in great shape when he ends up pulling on back. Roaches and Zerglings getting warped in right now. Does he have Roach speed? No, and it looks like absolutely no use of this infestation pit has occurred. We see Blink Stalkers moving in again. J&B, who ended up the series down 0-1, now in a very strong position to pull the lead at 2-1. Longhammer just should have been a little bit more patient with this push, and he could have been in a great situation. We do see there are roaches popping out right now. There's the Gleal Reconstitution, aka the speed upgrade. There is the blink back to let the Zealots take the damage and deal the damage while the Stalkers try to just increase in number, more Stalkers getting warped in. But this is becoming a very funky situation. Whoa! When did that Robo-Bay get built? J&B investing himself in an Immortal. Going to be continuing to produce a lot of Stalkers as well. And you know what? If J&B can continue to do poking damage and then reinforce with a lot of Immortals, that could be a very, very cool way to do a finishing push. But in the meantime, he's going to have to be a little nervous. There's a Pathogen Glands upgrade coming down now for Longhammer. Once some Infestors do pop out, he can easily deny a lot of this Blink Stalker micro, but here's what's really going to be saving Zerg. See this creep spread. Look at that huge spread of creep tumors around the map. Here come the Zerglings. The Zerglings are so fast picking off the Probe Immortal. Get out of there! Oh no, he ends up getting blocked in by his own Zealot. How embarrassing. There's the one Zealot that was at the ramp, left his job duties to go enter the war, but he was so young, he just didn't know. We do see an Overseer popping out right now by Longhammer. He knows that Blink Stalkers have been seen. That means the DTs could be just around the corner. No Infestors have been made yet, and here comes a huge amount of Blink Stalkers. It looks like they're target firing. The Hatchery going to try to do some damage, but no, it looks like he will end up pulling back with some Blink, but some of those Stalkers blinked out a little bit too early. J&B doing massive damage regardless. More roaches are popping out as we speak, but the hatch falls. The hatch that was upgrading the speed J&B was controlling so well. Longhammer deeply regretting when he sent all of his Zerglings back here to pick this pylon off, and it didn't even work. Oh, how red his cheeks must be. There come in a lot of the roaches, now trying to regroup if he can get some Infestors out. Keep in mind, he does have that energy upgrade. That means they will pop out with enough energy to do a fungal growth. And look at the gas count from Longhammer. He needs to begin building some of those essential infestors, and there they are coming out right now. 3 infestors. Uses up a lot of gas, but look at how on top of the ball he is with that extra larva vomitage. There come down some immortals right now. Protoss essentially saying, you know what, I did the damage I needed to do. I'm pulling back. I'm taking my own expansion, but he still has to be worried because look at this creep spread getting ever farther by the minute. There come out some more Zerglings. Look at this, 16 Zerglings. When those 3 infestors pop, those are going to be the key that will allow the Zerg to begin being aggressive against the Protoss. But Protoss, uh-oh, no, moving out himself. Where is that Observer? Finally ends up popping out. If that joins in the fray, he can pick off these creep tumors. But until then, Protoss might be walking into a death trap. Protoss has been doing huge damage all game long, but now he's moving out, and these infestors are beginning to move forward. The Zerglings will be able to do maximum damage to these Stalkers. There's a lot of Roaches out as well, and it looks like the Zerg's just going to let Protoss come to him. The 2 Immortals are at the back. The Stalker's getting a little greedy, and there's 1 fungal growth, but he needs to end up attacking with the units as well, and he's trying to spread those Stalkers out. There's another great fungal growth, and if he can get that wad in the back, that could be lights out for this Stalker troop. There are a lot of Roaches, but now the Immortals are making their way up to the front, and JNB, whose macro has been great all game long, just has a little bit too many units. There's the target fire on the Immortals. It looks like the expansion hatch has finished just in time to die. No more Zerglings getting produced there. Some are going down, but look at that great force field blocking everything in. JNB bringing the noise back to Longhammer. Longhammer just has a little bit of Observer-style infestors, and there's the good game. JNB takes the series to 2-1. Let's move on to Game 4.